Hey, good morning, Faithbox. Welcome back to Everyday Faith. We are on day 21, and I hope you're doing well. I'm here in New York City, but I kind of have like an aloha spirit. I'm wearing a He is Greater Than I t-shirt, which is a company based in Oahu, and they are a Christian company, but it's about Jesus being greater than us. Like what John 3:30 says, you know, He must increase, I must decrease. So figure I'd get that out of the way, because for some of you might be like, what's that shirt? But then I'm also drinking coffee out of my little Hawaii mug. So yeah. I might be on the East Coast in a cold, kind of clear but overcast March day, but I've got an aloha spirit. So I'm gonna take a sip and then we're gonna jump into day 21. All right, here we go. So this is what it says, Proverbs 4:25. Look straight ahead and fix your eyes on what lies before you. One of the best ways to combat distractions is to keep your focus on what's ahead. But this is easier said than done. Can I get an amen to that? Remember the story of Peter walking on water in Matthew 14. He was doing great when he kept his focus, but then he started looking at everything around him, and that's when he started to sink. Proverbs 4:25 keeps it simple for us. Fix your eyes on what lies before you. Keep your attention on the task before you, the next step you have to take, or the current problem, not the ones that you haven't arrived to yet. Focus is about concentrating on a single thing, not a multitude of things. And if you can keep your focus on your commitments, you'll be more likely to fulfill them in time. Yeah, this is a great devotion. Honestly, it's really simple, but it's really difficult. And, we live in a society, right, where everything's kind of vying for our attention. I mean, I've got my phone right here, and I always put it on the table face down, because if a notification pops up, I lose focus, And it's as simple as that. There's so many different things that can kind of creep in and distract us and take away from, the important things. And that's not just small, but there's significant things that it affects. And, the writer of Proverbs, I believe this is Solomon, he made it pretty straightforward. He just said, look straight ahead, fix your eyes on what lies before you. And I'll use this kind of illustration, but as I've shared before, we are starting a church in New York City, and we've been at this for almost 2 years. In May, it'll be 2 years. And the thing that we kind of tell our team, the thing that we tell our congregation is this, we don't really know what's going to happen 6 months from now. We're kind of operating in 6 to 12 week windows. And so 6 weeks out, we have a pretty good idea of where we'll be, we think. 12 weeks out, we have a less good idea. Anything beyond that is kind of a guess. And people are like, what about this? Or what about that? Or what about doing this? And my response is always this, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. And it's a simple kind of phrase, a trite expression that many of us have heard or probably even used. But it's just this thing that I keep going back to. It's let's just focus on what we have right now. When we get to 6 months out, when we get to 12 weeks out, when we get to that issue, that situation, that opportunity, that problem, whatever it is, we'll figure it out once we get there. But for right now, let's just focus on the moment. Let's focus on what we have before us. And as good as I am as doing that as a pastor, as a leader, I'm not as great about that in my personal life. And so I have to remind myself, hey, cross that bridge when you get there. You figure that thing out later. You don't have to stress about it in the moment. You don't have to, overthink or overanalyze. You just focus on what God's called you to do right now. Keep your eyes fixed on that one thing. Look straight ahead. And like that illustration of Peter, he walked on water. But then the moment he lost his focus and he took his eyes off of Jesus and he saw all the problems, he started to sink. And the fact is, he was walking on water even when there were problems. So if we can keep our eyes on Jesus, if we can keep our focus straight ahead, then we can navigate through the problem. It's not like that problems just come up and distract us. It's that we lose our focus, and that's when things start to fall apart. So I hope that encourages you today. I hope that makes a difference in your day and in your week and maybe even your life. If there's anything that we can help with, feel free to drop a comment or a note and let us know. So I'll be back with you guys tomorrow, and I'll see you back then on Everyday Faith. Have a great day, guys.